I said I was gonna do it, and so I'm doing it. This is King of Blahs on Steam. And as commenters here will know, I've had somewhat of a comment war with a few people. Now, this goes out not so much to the people I've debated with them. This is for you, the modders, the people who provide content, those who extend the lives of games, those of you with positive contributions, so humble that your voices get drowned out by many people. And it's just, it's sad to see. Because you know what? You do good work around here. You do provide a lot for the community, and for some people, you're the only reason this game is bought. So this is from a normal guy to people like you. And to those who say the Steam community is behind the modders, this is going to serve as evidence against that. So let's look at this. Here we go. This is the one I said I was going to respond to, and the motivation for this particular video. For all the entitled amateurs, I mean modders. Let me blow this up for you, if it'll let me. Oh, it won't let me do that on Steam. Hang on, I got an idea. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this right here. Okay, we're gonna blow this up so that everyone can read it. You can pause the video at any time during this. I'll scroll down it slowly. Let me blow this up even bigger. I want to make sure everybody can read this, regardless of video quality, regardless of video size. Here it is. Again, pause the video if you need to read it more clearly. See this, modders? This is who you're making games for. This is who you're making games for. Here's another one. Let's see. Costing us millions of dollars. You see the kind of stuff? This is what's talked about in this community when we say there are a bunch of ungrateful little kids who want everything for free. And what happens when compensation's asked for? What happens? You're told that you're entitled. You're told that you're piggybacking. You're told that you don't deserve it. They deserve it. They're entitled. They're entitled to not have to pay for a thing that you produce. They ask for donations, which modders have come on here and said about 1 in a million people will donate. There was one. Let me look. In fact, it might be even. I have to log in on this one. Well, let me go on here. I think I'd be able to show you here. Okay. Let's see. Modders don't deserve petition. As you can, I'm subscribed to a lot of these. Okay, here we go. Word from a mod creator. What was my train of thought? I forgot why I was even showing this. A lot of noise around me. Excuse me if it's coming through. I'm not sure if it is. There's my post right there. Oh, I remember what I was going to show. Okay, this one right here. We'll load this up in the browser, and then we'll do a little bit of comparative analysis. Okay, now let me blow this one up too. Okay, he'd like to share some numbers. Okay, I started publishing mods 2 years ago. Since my first mod was released on the Skyrim Workshop, my mods have received over 200,000 individual downloads and 2 donations. That is 1 out of every 100,000 people donate. That's it. See, this is what a donation button does right here. Right here. 1 out of 100,000. So, here's the thing. This is what's being asked of you. If you're to receive any money for being a modder, you're forced to be a beggar. Excuse me while I adjust this. A beggar. That's what that is. Somebody who does not require money, but is forced to ask for it. You know, it's like people who ask to have their software not pirated. What's with that? Let's look, see if we can go off the cuff, find some more. Let's see. Need better textures. Let's see. There's that joke of a post right there. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. Modders don't deserve anything. Let's blow this one up. Blow this one up. We're going to make sure all you can read this. There's no disputes being made here. Alright, here we go. Let's blow it up even more. This can fit in. Alright. Any questions? What modders have to go through? Oh, this isn't even the beginning. Because what brought me to these Steam forums, and I'll tell the story, I've already told it in the forums. I was just surfing YouTube as normal. I normally don't go on Steam forums, so I was just surfing YouTube. I encountered a video called Total Biscuit Content Patch, so I thought, well, okay, I got a few minutes of my time, I'll go ahead and listen to this, you know, because I like to keep up on gaming news. I heard about paid mods, and I was kind of genuinely curious, like, you know, what's this going to do for the modding community? I didn't have an opinion established at this time, but I thought, well, gee, interesting. So I go to the paid mods, and I start clicking on these mods, just to kind of see, you know, how they're selling their mods, and there wasn't really a lot of content there at the time. It was sort of toward the beginning. So I go scroll through there, scroll down, and just post after post of vitriol, hatred, anger toward the mod developer in the paid section. Now note, the mod developers had nothing in this deal. Valve got together with Bethesda and said that they would like to make money off of mods. And so they created a section of the workshop called the paid mods, where the mod creator would get 25% and Valve Bethesda would share 75%. Now, I will say I don't agree with that split. Modders should receive a bigger cut. But we'll get to that in a second. All this vitriol. I go on the forums. Just thread after thread after thread of whining. You know, paid mods are going to ruin the workshop. Blah, blah, blah. Same thing. People removing their posts. People changing their posts. People removing their mods. All these things to protest. Leaving negative review after negative review. Not on the content of the game, but just because of a workshop, you know, a political stunt. Lowering the Metacritic reviews on Skyrim. What is that? What is that? So you're going to ruin the trust that the gaming community has developed doing independent reviews on things such as Metacritic. And what are you going to do about it? You're just going to throw that trust out the window over some little kid temper tantrum because something that was free was made not free. I said this is going to be to the modders, so I'm sorry that I'm getting a bit off track. This is a very opinionated topic for me, to say the least. But here's the thing. And this is the ultimate thing to you modders. The question that needs to be asked, and it's a very legitimate question on your end, it is something you should think about. Is it worth it developing for this community? Now, if you're doing this for free, you're doing it for one of two reasons. One of three, maybe, but mostly one of two. You're either doing it for donations, or you're doing it for community appreciation. And so when I show you threads, such as the one about modders being amateurs, you don't deserve a thing. It's just a hobby. Is that showing appreciation toward you for giving something for free? That they're just entitled to your work? I'd say no. That's not being appreciative of all these hours of work. And there's some huge mods. Mods that are comparable in size to the game itself. Is that showing appreciation that you're looking for in a community? You know, it's understandable, before the free mods, the jury was out. I mean, you would make them for fun or whatever, for appreciation, for admiration. But this whole fiasco, it's brought out the worst in people. It has brought some really awful people out who have said some really horrible things about what you do when you had nothing to do with this. A few modders came out and said, well, wait a minute here. I understand that it's free, but we work hard and we work many hours and we provide all these assets for this game. Why don't we deserve something out of it? And these modders, they're just chastised. They got threads on here chastising the paid modders, and I wish I knew a search term that could search for it. Let's look through a few more threads. Let's see if we can find some. Okay, there's a thread that got closed. Let's see. Let's look. What a funny week for modding. Yes, yeah, that's not an anti-mod. I just want. And in these threads, there's a lot of them too. It's not just the thread titles themselves, but in the interest of time, because I'm not validating my YouTube account for longer than 15-minute videos. What are we at anyhow? We're at 13 minutes. I gotta cut this short. Okay, there's a mod list. It doesn't look like I'm gonna find anything, but again, to you people who pay for the mods, or excuse me, to you modders who make content for the community, this is from a consumer to you. Please, just get out of this community. They're not worth your time. They're not worth your talent. They're not worth your content. None of us are. And that includes me, because I don't have a way to compensate you. And that's a sad, sad thing to say. But just use your talents for something that's going to produce something for you. Thank you very much for listening, and may God bless you.